Mabuhay! This is Pia Wurzbach and you're watching the second episode of Holding Space, Enabling a Safer Society. For our second episode, we will discuss a critical and sensitive topic when it comes to mental health, which is self-harm and suicide. Para sa kaalaman ng nakararami, magkaiba po ang self-harm at suicide at madidistinguish natin sila sa intent o intensyon ng taong nakararanas nito. Hihimayin natin to at haharapin ng usapin para tayo magkaroon ng kaalaman kung paano masosolusyonan ang mga bagay na to sakaling ma-experience natin sila o ma-witness before our eyes. Tulad sa ating first episode, nagtanong-tanong kami sa iilan kung ano ang nalalaman nila sa topic natin ngayon.
Hi!
Oh my God!
Kumusta?
Okay naman. Okay
Hi.
naman.
Thank you na pumayag ka
Thank you.
sa aming pa-ambush interview. Wala namang mali o tamang sagot dito sa mga tatanungin ko dahil alam ko na medyo sensitive tong topic na to. Tingin mo ano ang dahilan kung bakit may mga taong namamatay dahil sa suicide?
Siguro po kasi minsan, hindi po nila na-express yung feelings po. Minsan, tinatry nilang ma-voice out yung feelings nila pero minsan walang nakikinig.
Yung parang mag-isa ka lang, di ba? Yung hindi mo, wala ka mapagsabihan ng problema mo. Nung pinagdaanan mo siya, sino yung mga nilapitan mo?
Friends ko po. Pero usually minsan, unan ko. Yung doon ako umiyak, ganyan. Tapos,
Ang number one kasi natakot ng mga tao yung humingi ng tulong, di ba? Yung
Kasi baka po isipin nila na parang ma-question na may mali sa kanila. Pero hindi po totoo yun. Kasi minsan masarap po na masabi kung ano yung nararamdaman. Kasi yung sinasolo nyo lang po yung nararamdaman. Yun po.
Hi! Hi, kumusta?
Hello po.
Wala namang mali o tamang sagot dito. Pero sa tingin mo, bakit may mga taong namamatay dahil sa suicide?
Ayun, dahil na-depress sila, naiisip na lang nila mag-suicide. Kasi nga po, wala silang mapagsabi ng ibang tao sa nararamdaman.
At yun din ba yung dahilan ng mga tao na nagsa-self-harm o kaya sinasaktan nila yung sarili nila?
Sila, hindi nila malabas through way ng salita or magdadabog, ganyan. So, pinipili na lang nila na sarili nila yung saktan.
According to the World Health Organization, about 800,000 people die by suicide every year. Suicide deaths in the Philippines reached 2,325 or 0.34% of total deaths. Based on the reported suicide cases, males are more affected and it's more common to occur among teens and young adults. But we also want to emphasize that this health condition can affect everyone. Suicide is a serious global public health concern that we hope to shed a light on. Lalo pat ang suicide ay preventable at marami tayong pwedeng gawin para mapigilan ito sa sarili mo man, sa community, o maging sa national level. So we need to act together to stop suicide from taking someone's life. Kaya naman, I'm so grateful to be able to talk to a person who survived suicide. Kakausapin natin siya via online video call kasama ang ating topic expert para mapag-usapan at mahimay natin kung ano nga ba ang mukha ng suicide at self-harm.
Hi, Russel. Thank you so much for allowing us to share your story. I admire your courage to speak up and educate people about self-harm and suicide. Bago natin simulan ng paghimay ng iyong experience, sino ba si Russel?
Thank you, Miss Pia. I used to be a city guy. I just got back here in my hometown, dito sa El Nido, Palawan, last December 2021. And the reason why I'm here, it's because I wanted to recuperate and heal from the last time that I had a major relapse of my depressive disorder. This is actually the first time ulit na humarap ako for an interview.
Okay lang ba sa'yo na kung babalikan natin at pag-uusapan natin ulit yung panahon na meron kang pinagdadaanan?
Yeah, it was the darkest moment in my life that I've ever had because I could not even understand what was going on with me. On most days, I would just lie in my bed. I was just crying. You would just feel helpless and powerless over your situation. Powerless because I had no idea. Hindi siya napag-uusapan around my circle. And also, I didn't get the chance to talk about it. Merong stigma, maraming sasabihin yung mga tao, and I was afraid. The truth of my experience was that I attempted to end my journey. I attempted suicide, and I was I was in a hospital for a couple of weeks. And then at the time, all I could remember was darkness up until now. And then one day, I woke up. Alam ko, nung nagising ako, something happened. And I just couldn't process everything. I didn't want to talk about it. Yes, I lived, but then survival was probably just the beginning of a much bigger fight.
Danica, what are the risk factors leading to self-harm or suicide?
It's an interaction of biology, psychological factors, and even socio-environmental factors. So when we say bio, may mga relatives ka ba or immediate relatives or even yung mga medyo malayong relatives na may history? Yung mga psychological factors, pwedeng yung coping mechanism mo, hindi ganun kalakas. Or may history of trauma, abuse. Yung feeling of worthlessness, yung feeling of isolation, risk factor din siya for suicide or self-harm. And then sa social naman, kapag nasa hostile environment ka, yung mga kasama mo, yung family mo, yung friends mo, hindi healthy yung relationship mo with them. In general also, it's important that a prior suicide attempt can be a risk factor also to do it again. So for a relapse siya. So,
I had my doctor, my psychiatrist at the time, pero I wasn't that comfortable sharing. So I left my story somewhere. I didn't want to talk about it. I was asked by an organization in our school to give a message about mental health, but they did not know about my story. Sabi ko, sure. Pero at the back of my mind, parang ayoko kasi I don't want people to know my story. But then later that night, I found myself writing my story, just a bit of it. And then I posted it on my social media account. When I woke up the next morning, I received hundreds of messages.
yung journaling kasi, it would also help kasi yung mga taong nagsi-self-harm, sometimes wala lang silang outlet. So yun yung naiisip nila. So yung journaling, it would help them na maka-release kung ano man yung nararamdaman nila during a specific moment.
There was this one message na ang laman lang niya is like a painting. It's nakalagay Braveheart. And siguro yung naging inspiration why I started the Braveheart project in our school. And that was also the time when I became part of a mental health organization in FEU. Pandemic came and I made new coping skills na pwede ko magamit. And akala ko okay na siya. Feeling ko, okay na ako, magagawa ko na ito lahat. Siguro, na-absorb ko na naman lahat ng mga problema ko. Hindi ko na naman alam yung gagawin ko. So I had my second attempt in December 2021. It was harder because some people think na kaya mo na siya. And I thought din, kaya ko na siya. Pero hindi pala. So mas mahirap yung part na parang dumadating ka pa rin sa point na ipapamukha sa'yo nung nangyayari sa'yo na hindi pa. Hindi siya ganon, hindi siya madali. But right now, I'm trying to choose to live every day. You may not be able to change what you're going through, but we can always change how we're going through it. This is a lifetime process for me and for people like me. And we need to have people with us. So I'm starting to rebuild my life, but I'm happy to be here, trying to start a new life. Hopefully, I'll get better soon.
So it's best if you check in with yourself. Kung kamusta ka ba, acknowledge your emotions, acknowledge what you're feeling. Second, confide in someone. Kung sino man yung pinaka-pinagkakatiwalaan mo, kahit isang tao lang, important siya na ma-release mo kung bakit mo siya ginawa or ano yung iniisip mo at that moment. And then third, it's recognizing your triggers. Kapag nandun ka ulit sa situation, mas alam mo na kung paano siya i-manage.
Medyo recent tong mga last na nangyari, but still, you're choosing to share it with us. So for that, I want to say thank you. I relate to what you said about it feeling like a battle every day. There's a good voice and a bad voice, but the good voice is winning. But were you able to identify the triggers along the way?
It was just in 2021 nung na-figure out ko na isa sa mga triggers ko yung pakiramdam na may iwan ako. Kasi my parents left. Hindi ko alam na mag-a-annul pala sila. So ngayon pa lang siya napagtatagpi-tagpi lahat. So pakiramdam ko lahat ng aalis, mawawala talaga sila. Like forever. And that's why leaving Manila, leaving my friends, it was hard as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yung triggers mo, is this something that you discovered on your own or did somebody else point it out?
I discovered it on my own. I have all the tools, yung mga learnings ko on how to figure things out. So I had to do it on my own. Nung na-figure out ko siya, what should I do? Sinasabi ko sa mga talks namin, get professional help, be open about it. I tried that. Tapos dumadating pa rin ako sa dead end. So doon ko naisip na parang baka hypocrite ako, baka hindi siya ganun kadali. It's gonna be hard. And I don't have to lie about it. I learned that the truth is you will have to face it alone. Pero ano yung role ng mga tao na yun, ng family mo who show support to you? They serve as your source of energy. Para kapag lalaban ka na ulit doon sa mga battles mo, you have enough energy to at least stand and fight and not give up. And if you lose sometimes na exhaust lahat ng energy mo, you're tired, you're allowed to rest. You don't always have to move forward. Sometimes you just have to move your feet, to move around, to look at different directions. Because when you're moving, it means that you're alive. And this is the only life that I know. I will do my best to hold on to it, no matter how hard.
Was help accessible to you at that time?
In 2015, takot ako to have myself checked because of the stigma of what people might say. Wala pa talagang awareness at the time sa circle ko. So it's hard. But I had help. I'm fortunate enough that we are at least financially capable of getting medications and yung paying for professional fee. Expensive siya. Hindi para sa lahat ng tao. And that's the sad reality.
When this was first happening to you, who was your support system?
I had friends, but since I refused to talk about my problems, parang wala akong support system talaga. If you need someone to talk to, akala nila they are required to give advice. But sometimes, what we actually need is yung sounding board lang. And if you keep hearing a lot of things, kahit positive siya minsan, overwhelm ka lalo. And hindi na siya nakakatulong sa situation mo. So beautiful to hear yung kumusta ka. Even if I'm not okay, at least I know that someone cares for me, cares about me. And I would have someone na pwede ko makausap when things get worse.
Ang ganda ng mga sinabi mo, Russell. I hear the same advice that sometimes you don't really need advice. You just need someone to listen to you. We just wanna say it. We just wanna let it out. Sa ngayon, sino support system mo?
Ngayon, I have my mom and I have some friends na kahit malayo sila, nasa Manila sila. They check on me. So, ngayon, medyo mas naiintindihan na namin lahat. Yung pinagdadaanan ko, hindi siya ganun kadali. And people around me need to be supportive. Kung wala kang support system, just have a purpose in life. Ako minsan naisip ko, dati nung pandemic, anong lulutuin ko bukas? Kasi nag-aaral pa lang ako magluto. It's something that I was looking forward to doing. You don't need to force yourself to find your ultimate purpose in life. Ganun ginagawa ko. You need to find joy in everything that you do.
Anong gusto mong sabihin doon sa support system mo ngayon?
Hindi ko alam kung kailan mo makabawi. But I hope sharing my story, people one life at a time, I think it's my greatest life accomplishment. That's my way of thanking them. And my gift to them is my life, that I'm still alive right at this moment.
That's so beautiful, Russell. Thank you so much. And I'm sure sa mga makakapanood nito, mai-inspire din sila sa'yo. Meron ka bang advice na mabibigay you can share to our audience who might be dealing with the same challenge that you had before?
There are things that I've learned about my experience. I think the first step for us to deal with it is to accept what we are feeling. Whatever it is that you're feeling, kahit negative siya, you have to acknowledge na hindi siya isolated case. Lahat ng tao posibleng makaramdam yan. Sometimes, hinihingi natin yung pagmamahal sa ibang tao, but we need to give it to ourselves. There's still joy and love around you. Just look around. I just want everyone to remind yourself that today is not the day that your story ends.
Thank you, Russell. Maraming salamat sa pagbabahagi mo ng iyong kwento sa amin. Maraming salamat for being so honest and so open. Mabuhay ka.
Napakabigat at napakahirap pag-usapan ng self-harm at suicide, lalo sa mga bansang tinatrato itong kasalanan, kahihiyan at kawalan ng saysay. Ang self-harm at suicide ay mga uri ng mental health issue na dapat bigyang pansin sa multi-sectoral levels. Narito tayo para magpalaganap ng awareness tungkol dito at umaasa na sa dagdag kaalaman ay makapagligtas tayo ng isang buhay at iba pa, because one life lost is already too many. We're lucky to have people like Russell and our mental health advocates who are investing their time and effort for us to understand these complex social issues. Kaya naman, ang mga key takeaways ko dito for this episode are, number 1, always be there for someone physically or virtually. Basta make your presence felt when you're away and be someone's safe space. Number 2, check in with yourself also. Okay ba ako? Kumusta ba ako? Number 3, Always, if you can explain what's going on, just please find and seek professional treatment. It's always better to know that someone is there for you and to help you. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay sa ating Season 2 ng Holding Space, Enabling a Safer Society. Thank you also to Flourish by Love Yourself and Mental Health PH volunteers, at special thanks to All Right Studios para makapagbigay kami ng isang makabaluhang kwento para sa mental wellness ng nakararami. And that is it. I still hope to see you for our next episode. Ako po si Pia Wurtzbach at nagsasabing, Holding Space will always be here for you to inspire a safer society for all. Take care, everyone.